this continuum of services, and out of that, was sort of born My Life, which follows our students from 49ers Academy in East Palo Alto into the Sequoia district, and specifically at MA.
In My Life, yeah. And then I'll tell you a little bit about My Life. So MA is about 2,300 students from the Atherton, Menlo Park, East Palo Alto, and Redwood City area. There are 47% Caucasian, 38% Hispanic, Latino, 5% Asian, 4% African American, and 4% Pacific Islander, and 2% other. But my program is 72% Hispanic, Latino, 12% African American, and 16% Pacific Islander. So we're working primarily with minority students at MA. And so something to keep in mind, and I'm sure you remembered and you touched on this, MA does at times feel like two different schools. And so I think this program kind of helps students alleviate some of that and access, not feel like they're outsiders, and feel like they have a home and they have a place at MA as well. And so our program is after school from 3:15 to 5 o'clock. Homework help, enrichment activities, tutoring, but there's a lot that happens throughout the day, which I think is one of the most important pieces of this program, which is helping parents stay connected in the school, know how to navigate the school system, connecting students with their teachers, going to observe the classes and see what's going on with your students that are struggling, and really just being a part of that student's team of advocates, and really making sure that they're getting everything that they need, that they're being treated fairly, and that that they're doing the best that they can. We're really trying to make sure that they have a successful transition into high school and a good chance at graduating. And what else do I talk about? My life related.
Can you maybe talk also a little bit more about MA and that kind of disparity that exists? I don't think a lot of people know, for example, like the income disparity.
Yeah, I think that's a really good
racial
point.
distribution.
So, and maybe I can touch on that a little bit in terms of, so, and everybody's kind of mentioned this a little bit, going back probably to your experience in East Palo Alto is very much, and just in case you're not familiar, East Palo Alto is actually an entirely different city. I mean, I don't, you may already, and different county, which some people don't realize. And so if you go back, I mean, for several decades, there were policies in place. So, and we're obviously, we're a pocket inside of this bubble of affluence and in the heart of Silicon Valley. And the students from East Palo Alto, or Ravenswood City School District, which is part of Menlo Park, East Menlo Park and East Palo Alto, traditionally for many decades, were bused across Sequoia district, so into the Sequoia High School, Carlmont, Woodside, and Menlo-Atherton, despite the fact that Menlo-Atherton is right next door. I mean, literally less than 2 miles. And so just recently, within the last several years, there was a big, boundary map debate, and the boundary map was changed. We were the only community, very small community, of all the feeder schools into the high school district that was split up, and where students got bused out to all the different high schools. So with the boundary map change, now the students of Ravenswood District or East Palo Alto are now, they have Menlo-Atherton designated as their home school. And that, I won't go into all of the debates around it, but you had, some folks on one end that were very supportive of that and very welcoming, and then maybe a little more hostile on the other end of the spectrum. So you have, Menlo-Atherton is a very well-known school, highly ranked, great programs, and there was maybe it was a little bit seen as a threat of these students from East Palo Alto coming into our school. And so, like Miriam touched upon, and all the speakers really, it's about creating within that, it's obviously a very affluent community, very different experiences, creating that community of support and almost that community within a community. At the same time, really developing that relationship with the high school so that our students are welcome there, and that that we really create this sense, we're building a sense of that is your home school. That is your school, whether you're coming from East Palo Alto or coming from, a huge home in Atherton, you are just as welcome there, and that you have this group that will support you and people that want you to be successful, regardless of what district you're coming from, what school you're coming from. So,
Yeah, and I will say that after being there for my 4th year, I've definitely seen some progress at MA for sure. I mean, the school's really working on providing more support for students. They have a tutoring center now. There are 5 different rooms with teachers, and it just definitely, we've seen a shift. We have a new principal now, and so there's definitely been some progress. We have a lot of work to do, but there's definitely been some progress.